Sex Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. With me on the show this week is adult mainstream performer, OnlyFans creator, hot wife, and stripper, Sedona Reign. You guys are going to love Sedona. We get into everything you think we're going to get into, but we also go to places that you couldn't even imagine. What would a Sex Party episode be without all of those things? We talk about Sedona's hot wife origins and how the hot wifing with her husband stemmed from a secret she kept from her husband, which when she came clean, it led into this hot wifing world, which then led into porn. We are also going to talk about her time in the strip club. And you know what that means. I'm going to ask her one of my favorite questions. Her strip club wild, insane stories. You know how much I love those. She does not disappoint whatsoever. We talk about her performing strip club extras. We talk about her first porn scenes, the alter ego that is Sedona Reign, DP, DVP, and whether or not she's got a gangbang coming up. It is a ton. It is a lot. It does not disappoint. And at the end of the episode, she tells one of the absolute most insane stories that we've ever heard when it comes to the craziest things that she's ever been asked on OnlyFans. So buckle your fucking safety belt, put your helmet on, and enjoy my conversation with Sedona Reign.
This week's conversation.
Sedona Reign, welcome to Sex Party. How are we feeling? How are we doing?
I am doing great. I am running on coffee
Yeah.
and gummy bears.
Yeah. You know, the breakfast of champions or the lunch of champions, depending on what time it is in your time zone. The audience will know that I'm running on sugar-free Red Bull in a giant drum container. So that's the best that we can do over here. Full transparency, when we're recording this, we're coming off of XBiz, we're coming off of AVN. It's been an insane 2 or 3 weeks. Not to mention the couple of weeks that go into prep for that. It's just like being struck by lightning, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, it is. This is the first year that I caught what they say the avian flu.
Oh, wow.
So I had completely lost my voice and I was just like sicker than sick. And then everybody's like, blah, 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 and I'm like, I got to take a break. I don't feel good.
Yeah, for sure. Did you catch the avian flu during AVN or was it when you got back?
I felt like I had a touch of it while I was there because it was just like a whirlwind for me. This is like the first AVN I went to that I should have been a blonde because I was just...
What does that mean?
I just was completely like dumb. I said some of the most stupidest stuff I've ever said. I say a lot of stupid stuff.
Oh my
God. But I said excessively a lot of stupid stuff, and I was like, oh my God.
Like what? Like what did you say that was stupid? What do you mean?
I had a director ask me if I was a dom, right?
Yeah.
And I looked at him, I said, dumb?
Oh no.
And I'm like, yeah, I can be dumb. And he goes, dumb? And I'm like, dumb? I'm like, oh my God. I just was like out of it. It's just that point to where you just start saying things and people are like, is she really being genuine? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a lot, right? It's like it's a wonderful experience, and both XBiz and AVN do such a wonderful job at the shows and like taking care of people, and then obviously like the awards and like the red carpet stuff is so beautiful.
Oh, it's awesome. And
yeah, but it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And this year I was glad to have met some wonderful people, you know, through AVN and just new contacts and stuff. So that was a wonderful part of it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I was so busy. You and I were trying to communicate to to find each other to do like a an interview for the special that I record every year. And it was like almost impossible. Like I had my I had my phone in one hand and I had like, you know, another phone in another hand, and I was trying to, okay, wait a minute, booth 538, and like, you know, or whatever. And obviously I was there with one of my favorite companies, with ProDX Health. Obviously they make the Pro 13, and so we were slammed on that side too, and it was just bonkers. And I actually wound up doing a ton of interviews, but it was kind of like whoever was around me. Like we would go look for people, but then on the way there we'd bump into whoever and then, oh, let's do an interview or whatever. So we never got to meet in person, which is, you know, maybe my editor could put in like a sad sound right here. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. But you're here. It's fucking
here.
awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, were the fans behaving themselves at AVN? Did they have nice breath? Did they smell like cologne? Did they at least, you know, pull out the Axe body spray? Like,
I didn't have any fans that were like, oh my God, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
All the fans that I saw some of them the last time I was at AVN, and it was just nice to see them again.
Sure.
There was only one that like was in my face, and I was like, you know, like he could tell he was a little bit tipsy here.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
And that's the other part too. Well, I guess depending, but for me, I think the good part is at XBiz and AVN, you can drink. You can have alcohol. There's some shows you can't, and that is very unfortunate because, you know, alcohol always makes the flow. Well, usually the flow go a little better.
It usually makes the flow a little bit better, and then it's like it just makes everybody, especially the fans, just a little bit more happy.
Yeah.
You know, and a little bit more engaging.
So
liquid courage.
Yeah, of course, right? What were the fans asking you for the most? What were they talking to you about the most? What did they want to know? What did they want from you the most? You know?
I guess lots of people want to know is what's you know, coming up in the future, you know, that kind of thing. They just want to know what's kind of in the making. And you know, there are some stuff that's in the making that I can't exactly come out with right now.
Sure.
But
well, you know, I'll try and pry a little bit later in the episode. Don't you worry. Okay, so yeah, we're a couple minutes in, just chit chatting around, guys. You know how this goes. But let's say, you know, a good portion of the audience is probably here because it's you. They love you. They want to listen. They want to watch. They want to see what happens in this wacky hour that we're going to spend together on the show at the sex party. And they're here because they know you. But there's probably another portion of the audience that doesn't know who you are. And that's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's maybe they had some sort of memory loss due to a time travel experiment gone wrong, right? So let's say they've been leaping around the universe. They just arrived back here. For those people who don't know who you are, can you talk about who you are and what you do?
I am a porn actress. Yeah, I don't know. Like I usually on Instagram. But
well, you can say whatever you want. Fully unedited. Go for it.
I am a hot wife that likes to fuck.
There we go.
And I have a husband that loves to watch me fuck, so it makes it even better. And you know, and the whole part of being filmed, you know, is something that we've kind of grown up to, matured up to doing that. You know, because at first I was dancing, you know, and stuff, and then, you know, I was kind of questioning the adult industry. And then when I did my first scene in 2019, I was like, I really enjoy this. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot different than what I thought it would be. I think a lot of people perceive people in the porn industry as being drug addicts and just, you know, people that can't do anything else, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe I choose this profession because I want to do it and I enjoy it. And it's something that's kind of enriched my life and enriched everybody around me. So
Yeah, what a fucking great answer. Sex party round of applause for that answer. We love that answer. Yeah, I think you said a lot in there, which is fascinating, that just lends so much credibility and intelligence to the idea that, one, sex work, adult industry, whether it's porn, whether it's OnlyFans, both, it is becoming more and more of a job title that people want, especially women, right? Because dudes are always like, you should see I'm sure your DMs are full of those same guys too.
Oh, my DM is full of how do I get into the porn industry from men. And I'm like, why does a man ask a woman that? He should ask men.
I know. They were asking me too, like nonstop.
They're asking you too?
Oh yeah, it's like the number one question I get from dudes. I actually get a lot of really awesome, thoughtful questions from women, but the number one question I get from men is, it usually says something like, how I get into porn, question mark. And I'm like, well, first learn how to type and spell. And
Yes.
then, but yeah, no, I always tell them, call a studio, email a studio, tell them you're willing to do anything just to help out. Start, get a bucket and a mop and clean up the fucking jizz and shit, maybe work your way up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like a normal job.
Yeah.
That's what my dad used to say. He goes, hey, if you want to work at Lockheed, you need to start as a janitor. And then you work yourself up.
Yeah, you learn all the secrets and you blackmail everybody. And no, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, you'll wind up not you'll wind up in Vegas and not in the casino out in the desert. Anyway, we're already sliding off the rails here. No, but you brought it up because I think it's important that a lot of women do choose to be in adult. They do choose to do OnlyFans, and some of that is financial. Of course it's financial. Why? Whatever. But a lot of it, I'm finding out that it's because a lot of these women like what they fucking do. And I don't, that's a beautiful thing that we're finally talking about that,
Yeah, it is. It's weird. I was talking about it. I asked my husband last night, I said, have you noticed how calm I am? And I'm like, because, a couple of years ago, I just freak out about the smallest thing. And he's like, well, it's because you're getting a lot of dick. And I thought about it for a while and I went, yeah, that's the problem. Everybody needs a dick a day.
Yeah. I mean, it really, truly, I think, I don't know how big or wide we want to go with this, but women usually aren't getting the best cock, or like, strapped by another. Women usually, like, their sexual pleasure obviously has been secondary for thousands of billions of years. And I think now it's kind of like, not only can women take control of like who they work with, how much they work with that person and the things that they do, but then they also get to have orgasms and get paid for it. And that is like, what a 180. And I think it's an amazing time for everybody, because dudes get to enjoy it, the consumer, women get to enjoy it, and then women get to fucking do that and make money. And so I think we're in an age where people are talking more openly about, I love what I do,
Yeah.
And so, I couldn't be happier with where that's at, and I hope that we see more of that too.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's an empowering thing, and it gives women more of a voice.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, the ability to fucking just go ham and fucking be, and to just do it safely. You know what I mean? Everyone's tested. There's not some fucking, well, I mean, there's skeezy people still around, but it's sort of not as much as it used to be, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it's like lately now that I've been finding out, it's like once you find your community, I mean, porn is a community. And when you find those people and they kind of guide you through don't collab with this person, or, they kind of guide you. And that has helped me so much avoid certain issues that might have made me go, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. Because there are people who have had bad experiences in the industry, and that's basically just totally made them cut off. Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way for people.
Yeah. And the other thing that you mentioned too that is fascinating and is a sign of the times is the hot wife thing, because
Yeah.
this, I would say in the last like 3 to 4 years, probably, maybe even 3 to 5, but especially the last like year, it has risen in popularity everywhere. The conventions, the Pornhub rankings, the OnlyFans stuff. I know a lot of people, just because I started the podcast and people talk to me about all sorts of shit now, which is like a gift. It's kind of great. It's way more out in the open. It's not like it hadn't been going on, because it had, but I feel like, hot wifing has become this fascinating thing. So maybe you could talk about your experience with it and why you guys love it so much.
Well, in the very beginning, whenever we were married, we didn't it kind of grew into that hot wifing, and we didn't know exactly what to call it because it wasn't something people really talked about, and then once I started doing porn and stuff, the community, I started getting connected with people that were in the same, lifestyle. And we started talking. And then you started to not feel, because for a while there in our relationship, we felt isolated or alone, or you have people that want to shame you or tell you, oh, that's wrong. You're not supposed to be doing that kind of stuff. That's bad. And then you get around other people, especially when I was in the industry, and get around other hot wives, other couples, and you talk to them and you're like, I'm not alone. What we're experiencing is completely normal, and there's nothing to be shamed about it. My husband loves to watch me fuck. He's been that. We've grown into where we are today,
Yeah.
and we've just been able to explore it. And it's been just a great experience for the both of us,
Yeah. Yeah. So how long were you married before you guys started pushing into that that territory? And I guess just as importantly, did it start with like, ooh, like a fun Friday night role play? Like, I want to hear about stories from your exes, or like, how did it start?
That's a good question, because I sit here and I wonder myself, because I've been dancing for a long time, and I would have, of course, customers that would come in and want to play afterwards and stuff. And I would never do anything behind his back. That was always my thing. So I just didn't want to do that. And so there was one customer that did come in. He liked to play with toys. So in my head, I was thinking, well, okay, I could play with toys and also make a car payment. So that was, in our relationship, a secret between us because I didn't tell him.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was it was the opening point, because years down the road, I told him about it. And because he would love to hear the stories of me dancing and stuff. So I sat down with him and I told him, I need to tell you something I haven't told you. And unless I tell you, I feel terrible. And so I told him about, always called him Uncle Lincoln. And so at first he was just kind of like taken back, like I hadn't told him about it. But it also opened us up to being honest. That was the start of us being open and honest. and connecting in a way to where there were no secrets between us anymore. And it kind of opened up the door of hot wifing because he knew I didn't have any secrets anymore. I was like, I am totally being transparent with you. I don't want to hold anything back. I want to be open with you. And that also has a difficult side of when I held the secret from him. I didn't even tell him that the manager that I was working with, and at the club, and he knew I kept that secret from my husband.
Oh, wow.
And so it kind of led to this discussion that we had. That was a breaking point to where we became transparent and together. And ever since then, we've kind of taken off from that, you know, and it was, I could let it, you know, bother me or destroy me. I haven't, you know, it's actually made me stronger to believe that, to be open and transparent with him, because if I was, you know, if that would have happened to me, there would have been repercussions from that, but there wasn't.
Well, first of all, Jesus, so sorry to fucking hear that happened. Like, it's totally, that's insane, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. And two, I think that your choice to be like, I'm not gonna let this fucking control me. I'm gonna still, you know, push ahead on my terms, and maybe, you know, I have this like code of honesty now with my husband, and like that would have fucking, I mean, is there any, I mean, geez, like that's that's incredible. Like, and that's all you know, you chose to do that with those things. I hope that the manager in question like fell through a trap door somewhere, and or like, you know, at least
Well, I believe that what you do comes back on you in life. It does. You know, that's why I always believe, be a good person, you know, be honest, be good to people around you, because it does come back to you. You know, what you reap is what you sow. And so I have no idea what's happened to him or anything like that. But it is a subject I have not been open about or talked about, but I do believe I should be.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone has to make that decision, you know? Yeah. Well, I appreciate your honesty here with me. I mean, I think that's fucking amazing. And another sex party round of applause for you. we whether it's like subject matter that's really incredibly difficult and like what we're talking about now, or like some wild horny shit, you know, we always want to applaud it. So I really appreciate that big time. So you had been dancing and getting obviously like requests from customers like, hey, sleep with you or watch you or whatever, and you were like, no, like the physical, like if I touch them, they touch me, that would be cheating. But there was one guy who's like, I want to see you play with toys. And so you sort of were like, I could justify this as not cheating, make some money, not tell anyone. And so that became a thing. And then you just felt like really guilty about it. And then you finally told, okay. So just to recap, guys. So you tell your husband, it opens up this where you feel better. And then is he turned on by the idea then all of a sudden of a guy watching you play with toys?
He all of a sudden was like, well, why didn't you tell me about this? You know, kind of thing. I would have loved to have heard these stories. And I was like, good God, you know, if you could go back and redo something, but you can't. You can only move from where you are and start from there. That's at least in my head. But then it just kind of opened into, he just wanted, hear stories, and he was more open into like, yeah, some guy comes in there and wants to do it and tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell me how it was. Tell me, how you orgasmed, or he just wanted to, hear more and more and more, and it just has grown to where it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so basically that's how you discovered that he liked to watch, and like
Yeah.
this. So this is the birth. This is the hot wife origin story.
Yes, the hot wife origin story. The hot wife origin story has this the hard part of it, but birthed out of it something that's just totally awesome. And so, I have to look and take that positive part of it and just,
Yeah.
be, thank you. I'm glad I've matured to that level.
Yeah, well, we might already have an episode title: Hot Wife Origin Story, Hot Wife Origins. So we love that. We love a good origin story on the show. So then did you start playing with more customers and coming back and telling him stories then, or?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I started doing that, playing with more customers. So it was a benefit. It was a win-win situation.
Yeah.
You know? And so he got a lot of hot wife stories, and then we started to invite people over. And so that became even funner for him, because he liked being a part of it, recording it, having it. Even to this day, he says, I like it whenever you hot wife as versus the porn wife. He goes, because I know whenever you're hot wifing, it's not, it's organic. It's just there.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, rewind back to when he's like, "Oh, I'm cool with it." And you're like, "Oh my God, this is wild. Here's another story," and whatever. You go back to some of your customers that have just like, had been asking for stuff forever. Like, I got good news, Cletus. I have the okay to fucking, do this or that. Like, was that a moment where some of your customers who had just been like chasing you and offering you money were finally like, oh shit, okay, you're finally gonna do it or whatever?
I would say the club that I was working in, I didn't have a lot of repeat customers. So whenever we started doing this, those customers way back, and when we're in California, are probably going, damn it. We were there at the wrong time.
Yeah. It's so wild to me. Like, I get it and I understand, but I don't know. I think I've said this on the show before, but with strip club stuff, like, I came around in an era where when I was like 18, actually, full transparency, I was 17 with a fake ID. And so so when I came around at 17, late 90s, right? So there's just to date myself a little bit.
Okay.
You'd go in and the bouncer would be this like 375 pound, like 6'8" guy with giant biceps. And he'd be like, okay, gentlemen, and he'd be like, you're going to sit on your hand. Like, you would sit on your, they would tell you to sit on, it was the sit on your hands era. Right.
Yeah.
And I just never like touched a stripper until she would take my hand and like put it on her. I never like said like any of that shit. I just always thought like, no, that's a red flag, like the Kill Bill, like, like I was like, don't do that, right? But I love strip clubs. I love strip club culture.
Yeah.
I'm notoriously like a cheap ass in the strip club anyway. So I'll throw a bunch of ones, but then I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to, unless I see like someone like, and that thing clicks in my head where it's like, okay, I need to get a lap dance, right? So then I'll go to the ATM, whatever. But all of that to be said, I can't imagine like saying to a stripper, like, hey, like, I want you to, yeah.
It is one of those things, like, especially lately, it seems like that's all I seem to get, where I'm like, what's changed here? Because it used to be a little bit different, especially like you were saying, like in the early 2000s. It's just like now everyone's all like,
Yeah,
they're just
for real.
straight out. Like, you're like, huh, okay. No lap
Yeah.
dances, no reaching up to that,
Yeah.
Like, okay. you know.
Spend 100 at least to like warm me up. What the fuck?
I know, entertain the idea here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
So were you doing strip club like extras in the club or outside of the club then? Like, were you doing blowjobs and sex in the club or were you doing it outside the club?
outside the club, if they were in VIP for hours, we probably have a little bit of fun in there.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you entertain the VIP for a couple hours. Well, what do you think's going on in there?
Yeah. See, gentlemen, it is, you have to wait it out, spend the money, whatever. Don't rush. Yeah, but I think now there's just not, well, first of all, everyone's super horny. Second of all, nobody has like any respect for sex workers. It's worse than it's ever been. I think a little bit on one angle. So of course,
Yeah, exactly. You get these people coming here and they're like, so, and you're like, I don't know how that's happening.
I'm not your girl. Yeah, I'm not your girl. Yeah.
I'm not your girl.
Yeah, for sure.
Not tonight, not for me.
Yeah.
But I sure as heck, now you told me you had $200. I'll make sure that the $200 is spent.
Yeah, no shit. I'm just gonna suck that right out of your pockets. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so you're still dancing then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I took a brief break from dancing, but then I kind of realized I missed it, and so I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I wanted to do, I still have to talk to a PR and figure out about doing traveling and doing dancing at different clubs. So
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. I'm an entertainer.
Yeah. So what do you enjoy about working the club the most? I think this is fascinating.
Oh man. There's just a lot. It's empowering. I like, to be honest, I don't mind being on stage. I don't mind being naked. I don't mind entertaining people. I like the entertaining. I like sometimes watching, someone else. I'll be like, wow, that was a good stage show. I'm gonna do that, It's the camaraderie. I like making friends, being with my girlfriends, that kind of stuff. You get together with people that are the similar as you, and you can talk about things, because out in the real world, it's not something you talk about, stripper issues, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to have that, friendship and that community there too. And it's empowering to, like, it's a rush to be in a room and just be in control of everything, And there are times to where you get a rowdy customer. Yeah, like some of them don't even know what they're doing. I go and I put my purse down, right? And I turn around just for a second. Turn around again. The guy has. I'm like, well, that's not happening right now. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. Back in my day, I sound so old. But like back when that would never happen. And if it did, you would hear it. Like someone would scream hands, or maybe it's just where I'm from, but they were really strict for a while. I mean, there's probably shit going on at other clubs, and you know, I mean, fuck, I was like horny and super curious. Still am, by the way. So we were like going to all these different clubs and like fucking adult bookstores. Remember the adult bookstores and shit?
Oh God, I remember the adult bookstores. Those are fun places.
They are, until you find out one of them's a glory hole. and you're not and you're not sure what kind of glory hole, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, kind of wild, right? Like, yeah. So that's, you know, obviously I host a sex podcast now because that's where the curiosity is taking me and whatever. But I love, you know, people don't realize like adult work, nightclubs, strip clubs, bars, that whole world is at night is a completely different thing with its own sort of laws, its own sort of vibe, its own sort of understanding of the human condition versus the daytime stuff. And it's that world to me has always been fascinating, and I will always continue to try and explore that as much as I can. And I love that you shared what you shared. I would normally wait till towards the end, but I'm going to ask you now.
Right.
One of my favorite questions to ask people who work in strip clubs and have experience in strip clubs. What would you say, and I'm going to try to buy you some time to think, what would you say is like the one or two most insane, crazy strip club story that you could talk about? Because I love these.
Oh my God. I knew you were going to, I was hoping you were going to ask this.
Of course.
I need to write a book on this.
Please do.
Okay.
You could say whatever you want. If something comes out and we can't, whatever, the editor can pull it out. So just, you have all the freedom in the world to share whatever you want to share. Good
Lord. I have been through so much because I worked at a bikini bar, which was like the most quackiest place on the planet. But I do remember, and I thought for sure he was a cop or something, but I was getting ready to go onto stage, and this guy gives me a cup. He tells me he wants me to pee in it. It's the usual one, right? But and I'm like going, is he gonna test me to see if I'm doing drugs or something? A cop or something? So I pee in this cup and I come out and I give it to him, right? And I'm going up onto stage. By the way, okay, sure, you can have my pee. I'll give me the money. Here you go.
What's a lot of money?
He gave me $1,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I'm going on stage. I'm getting ready to do my routine. He goes like this. And he cheers me with my pee and he drinks it. And I'm just like, all right. All right. That's
whoa.
Cool.
So he just threw it back like a shot, or he sipped on it?
No, he didn't sip on it. He threw it back.
Wow.
Yeah, and he had a smile. That smile on his face right before he cheers me.
Yeah.
And then he went out the back door, and then I had never seen him again.
Wow.
So I was like, whoa. You know, it was crazy to me. But you know, it's
an expensive shot.
Yeah. I was like happy that night.
I bet. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And oh man, there's so many things that happened at that club to the picture. The picture that there was one time, there was a picture that went around. I wasn't there that night. And obvious it was a picture and everyone passed it around. I guess one of the dancers there had gotten too drunk.
Oh boy.
Well, she obviously didn't know where the bathroom was. And so she took the biggest shit I've ever seen in the planet of the history, right? And so the mat that was outside the back door of the club, like the picture, I was like, had this girl not shit for like 3 weeks? Because literally she laid a dookie that would like make Dredd look like he's sorry. And so I don't even know how the hell that thing came out. And I was like, is this a joke? You know?
Wow.
she never came back,
Of course not. Yeah.
I would not show my face up in that club again after shitting like that on the back doorstep of a club. And it wasn't even in the corner, hidden, in a bush somewhere.
Yeah.
No, it was on the fucking doorstep.
Yeah. That's
was
bonkers. She should have just came back and like owned it and been like, yeah, it was me. I'm here to work my next shift. Get over it, guys. I'm the one who shit, or whatever. You want me to shit on you? It's fucking, it's $1,000,
hey,
whatever.
You know what? She could have probably been selling samples out, to the guys. Hey, you want a sample? $1,000.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Well, those are some fucking crazy stories, and we appreciate that. I'm gonna do. I don't know if I said this before, but I am gonna do a sex party strip club stories special where I take all of the strip club stories I have and just put them in one episode and release that. Because I have so many now, you could potentially do like a part 1 and part 2. And I love strippers, and I love like I said, that world, and those stories are just fucking priceless. So thank you for sharing those. Back to the hot wifing, right? So you guys are getting down, you're bringing people to the house. Is it a thing where is he just taping and watching and jerking off, or is he joining in, or what does it usually look like?
He hasn't joined in as of yet, I don't know if that's a thing that will happen, like getting more comfortable in the future kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he whenever the guy leaves, then it's his time. It's like our time together. But no, he likes to record and just watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he says it's like being able to the best kind of sex ever, because you can sit back and watch.
Yeah.
And you get to see in angles that you can't whenever you're doing it yourself. And at least that's what, and I'm still every day learning about hot wifing.
Yeah. Yeah. I would imagine it's a bit of like an out of body experience. And also there's a bit of like, we get into this conversation a lot, cucking versus compersion, like, and compersion is, for those who don't know, is you like to watch your partner, male or female, experience pleasure, however, and usually that's usually what it is. I mean, there is something horny to like watching someone you are attracted to just like be overwhelmed and overcome and like whatever. And so I think we kind of get into the weeds with the definitions, but I think watching and taping and all that shit is probably fucking enough for quite a few people. Then you have people who do join in, or like maybe they like wait till the guy leaves and then they come, then they do their thing. Like I've heard all of that, and I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's one of the things, like for a while there, we were looking and it kept on saying cuckolding. It said that, basically refusing to have sex with your husband or degrading him or this and that. And I was like reading that going, that's not us.
Yeah.
I'm like, when we were trying to define what we were, because I was like, we're not doing that, but it's just like what you said. He wants to watch me have pleasure. He takes pleasure in seeing me have pleasure.
Yeah.
It isn't like a kind of thing of like, degrading him and telling him, like, oh, your dick's not big enough or anything. I'm not into that.
Yeah, for sure. And when did you realize, or how did you realize that this, like, you guys doing the hot wifing thing had made your marriage like stronger, like had made it better, had made the sex level amp up? And did you notice that the communication was better and there was more excitement in your day to day?
I have noticed our communication has been improved 1000%. I mean, we can communicate about a lot of things. The closeness between us has been like something I've never had before. It's just, I feel like I can tell him anything.
Yeah.
I can be open with him. I honestly feel like he's just my best friend. And there's many times where we've done this for the longest time, even before the hot wifing. It's almost like I could finish his sentences. Like I can read what he's thinking or he's thinking. So, you know, we're very close. And it's just been an awesome journey for the two of us.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. $64,000 question. When and how does the hot wifing then lead you to the adult industry? Did you start an OnlyFans first and start documenting your own thing, and then porn came calling? Did you go looking for porn, then you're doing like what? Give me the breakdown of when the moment was. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do porn and this is how I'm gonna start or whatever.
I think porn just came as an extension to everything. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was something I needed to do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a weird. I still, even to this day, like, will see like my scenes and go, "That's me," you know. It's still a thing for me to like know that I can do these things. It's kind of given me this kind of taken me out of my insecurity and given me like, wow, I can do some things that I just never thought I could do before.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Were you taking the content he was filming for himself and then like putting it online somewhere, and then porn reached out, or did you reach out to a porn studio or an agent?
I reached out to Score myself.
Okay.
And you know that. But as far as the stuff that he shot, I have not posted that anywhere. That to me is kind of the people that we've invited over.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of keep their identity kind of under the rug.
Yeah. So okay, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Plus, you would have to get their permission, and that's just like a fucking maze. And,
it is crazy. We have talked about fucking a fan.
mm-hmm.
And so I have looked into the thing of doing something like that. I think that would be kind of fun.
Sure.
You know, bring it out of the professional side and bring it into fans, bringing them in.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, no, I bet. Yeah, it would be fucking, I mean, I'm sure they would love it too. So you basically called into the mainstream industry and you're like, hey, I'm interested. What happens from there? Like, what was your first scene? Was it a boy, girl? How did it go from there in the very beginning?
My very first scene was a solo toy scene. And so I did a solo toy scene, and then I did a boy girl scene. And then I was supposed to that I did 2 days worth of filming. And so I would do a solo toy scene in the beginning of the day, and then I would do a boy girl scene in the afternoon.
Okay.
And it was a totally different experience for me. It was pretty awesome.
How so?
It just I like the camera on me. It just, I don't know, something about whenever the camera comes on, I turn into a different person. You know?
Yeah.
It's just,
Which,
yeah.
I mean, full transparency, when I logged on and you were waiting for me and I was late to this fucking interview because my life is a fucking chaotic, fire-driven mess right now, but we'll pull it together. Yeah, we were sitting here chatting a little bit before we started recording, and you said, oh, I was reflecting, you know, and I was like, oh, that's what a beautiful thing to say. Like, I wish I could figure out how to do that. And you were like, well, also I was kind of dialing into Sedona. Like you're this alternate personality that you have, which is you, but a different version of you, I'd imagine. So this is a perfect time, because you just mentioned it again. Talk about like having to create a persona, which then you can step into and feel comfortable doing all these things.
Well, that, like, it started like with dancing, because whenever you're dancing, you got to get into your persona. So, I mean, that was whenever it first started for me. But with me, it's like I'm a busy mom. And so I don't think anybody on this podcast wants to hear about mom stuff, you know, but I love it. But, you know, it's like this transition, because I go from, you know, mom and then to Sedona. So, and Sedona is just leave all that stuff, whatever's bothered me of the day or issues or this and that. And Sedona is just always this energy ball, redhead fire,
Yeah.
So it takes me a little bit to, because that was one of the things that shocked me at AVN. I went from, I flew in on Friday and I had to be on the floor at 6 p.m. So I was literally going from transitioning as I was flying to on the floor at 6 p.m. to shoo, all these fans were there and waiting. And I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. I'm still like,
Yeah.
And so, it's just me just
Yeah.
transitioning into me.
So do you have, because I recall when I was doing nightlife stuff, there was a moment where I would flip over from normal me to like the host me. And it's funny because I I can remember a lot of times it was like as I was getting dressed, like putting on the suit, looking in the mirror or something, there would just be a moment where it would just kind of like it was
Yeah.
almost like a buzz or like an alignment where it was like it would just click, it would snap,
Yeah.
and there's no going back to regular me until this version of me's job was done. And
Yeah.
there's a book out there, I always fucking misquote it. It's the alter ego effect or the alter ego, whatever. But this author, it's pretty fascinating. He talks about like how professional athletes, movie stars, whatever, they'll have something where they'll pick a character. Like I think a football player had picked like, when I step onto the field, I'm Jason Voorhees. Like, you can't stop me. I'm very, very violent. And then that helped him win Super Bowl rings or whatever. But they always had something they would do. And his was putting on the helmet, right? Once you put the helmet on like some people have like a ring that, do you have anything that puts you into Sedona like that? Any ritual?
Any ritual? I guess that, like I say, my ritual is the reflection to where I just am quiet, I'm silent to myself, and I have like that space. And in that space, I transition because I need to quiet the noise of mommy me,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then,
you're conjuring up Sedona.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's like, I just got to put that there, and it's like you said, just snap right into character, and you're just boom right there, you're ready.
Yeah, no, I love that. I could talk about that forever.
Mhm.
So okay, how long have you been doing mainstream porn?
I started in 2019, and then I just didn't step into it fully, and then COVID happened and all of that. And so I found an agent in 2023, at the beginning of that year, and I've just been steadily from that point on, filming and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. How crazy has it gotten in mainstream porn? Have you done like an orgy, a gangbang, DP, like what, bukkake? I mean, what are there crazy things that you've done? Like how wild has it gotten?
I have requested to do a BBC gangbang so many times, and my fan, yeah, I'm almost to the point where I'm tired of saying it, but I have requested it so much to companies, Dog Fart Black. I'm like, hey, and so
I'm
I
down.
I'm like, I'm here over here. I'm like, I did a scene with Steve Ricks and Cole Connor, and they put me through it. They did the double vag and the anal and DP, and they were like, girl, you're ready. You're ready to take on the world. And so, I am ready. And
Yeah.
then during Urban X Awards, I did a collab, and that should be coming out any day.
Oh, okay.
And then and his response to me after the scene was, "Damn, we should have gotten more guys." And I was like, I told you I was
Let's go.
ready.
Yeah.
So let's go.
She's not lying.
I'm not lying. This was on August 17th. It was my husband's birthday. We went to the pink and white party at Urban X. And then we headed over to shoot the clap. And that at midnight was his birthday, right? And so it was the 17th. And so I was like, happy birthday, honey. And we get to shoot this as much as we can say gangbang. And
Sure.
so, yeah, that was phenomenal. We shot from like 1 a.m. until 4:30.
Okay.
So I didn't get much sleep before the awards.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so DP and DVP, right? Double vag, double, and then double penetration, and then double vaginal penetration. Which one do you like better?
I would have to say that's not a fair question.
Okay.
That's not a fair question, because what if I like both?
Well, then you say both, and that's okay.
Then I would have to say that I I was so going that night. I don't know if I did double vag and anal.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see from the video.
Okay. Yeah. We'll have to review the tape. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to review the tape, because I was thinking, man, there's something that would be really, really a lot of fun too.
So have you had an orgasm? Have you come while two cocks are inside you at the same time? It doesn't matter which holes, whatever, but like, okay, so you have, okay, what does that feel like in comparison to a normal orgasm? This is something we talk about on the show. I think you're perfect to answer this, because everyone has their own kind of intimate experience of that. Some people say it's just, insanely intense. There's a psychological component to it. What would you say?
I would have to say that I've had an orgasm from just sex that literally blew me away. And I've had an orgasm from all holes filled that, like, I mean, it is. But I have had some intense orgasms from just sex that have, like, literally, like, I'm jello afterwards. Like, I literally, I'm silent.
Yeah, back to reflecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fucking amazing. What? I take it you are on OnlyFans, Fansly, on the online platforms. Like, where are we online?
I am on OnlyFans, and I haven't yet, because I've connected with some people that told me to get onto Fansly.
Yeah.
I've had so many issues with OnlyFans, like reporting my stuff because I'm outside, and I'm like, well, how the hell do I film myself in a pool having fun, or in a hot tub, without them saying I'm out in decent exposure? I'm like, it's gotten too regulated.
It's
to a point where,
so regulated.
Yeah, it's become very irritating. So
Yeah.
I'm to a point of, I hate starting new things, but I know if I just keep waiting, there's no time like the present to start.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've had too many people tell me set up a Fansly, because OnlyFans is kind of
Yeah, the platforms that we hear about a lot that are way more liberal in terms of what you can do, the fluids, the outdoor things, the fucking whatever. Fansly, Dark Fans, and Hidden are the three that I would say are on the rise right now, big time. I met the guys from Dark Fans at AVN. They were amazing. I know Leah from Fansly a little bit. She's amazing. Whoever's running Hidden is fucking a beautiful person, because they're like very nice in the comments to me or whatever. So I would, those are like three platforms that I think the fans are going to, because they're kind of tired of the OnlyFans bullshit.
Yeah. And there's a lot I've been dealing with the fact of like I will have a new person sign up and they will like spend like half the day, you know, wanting my videos or chatting with me, tipping me. And then all of a sudden I get all these chargebacks and I'm like, what is going on here? And so I contact them and tell them specifically like this person knew what they were doing
Right.
and they do charge. I'm like, that's not fair. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
it's the time that we put in. And then I saw something on YouTube and it was like how to rip people off on OnlyFans, you know, just to sign up, get your stuff and go. And I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah, there needs to be some kind of central, like, if they're going to regulate it the right way, because I talk a lot about how fans get ripped off by creators, and there's a lot of creators that, like some big ones in the last month, that have really got in trouble for it. And what they do is they make it worse for you guys. But then if you have asshole fans who are fucking cheap and, you know, whatever, want all this stuff for free and this, that, and the other, that doesn't work for anybody either. So there needs to be some middle ground, so that
Yes,
you know.
I totally agree with that because it's, you know, from my perspective, I don't believe in ripping people off, but I know that that happens out there.
Sure.
But it's part of a livelihood for us. You know, it
Mhm.
keeps us going. It keeps us creating more content for our viewers.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Two final questions for you. I could sit here and talk to you forever. You're amazing, and I'm definitely gonna have you back. But I do want to ask, craziest OnlyFans request. This was my first of the final. Well, now I have three questions. Like, what would you say you're getting that is just like, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard on OnlyFans?
Can it be something else? Because I'm like, I've gotten a lot of crazy stuff, but there's one that just totally wiped. It's still like, I can't believe it was because on my website they can email me, you
Yeah,
know, for basically meetups, hookups, whatever.
sure.
And so I'm still like in a side of like, oh, and sometimes like I have to get it out and read it to people because I'm just like, can you understand this for me, right? So I get a request and it was to meet up with a, you know, fan or whatever he was. But I had to come hungry, right?
Yeah.
So his thing was that he would be taking a laxative and that he would like to know what he needs to put on the menu because he wanted me to and receive from him, do you know what? And I was like, that's what I did for a long time. I just stared at a wall for a while and I was like, is this real? Is somebody playing a joke on me?
It feels like it.
So it became a joke. And the joke of it was, okay, so how much would someone have to pay you? So
Oh, Jesus fuck.
yeah, exactly. So that became the joke and everybody was really talking about it. Like some people were like, $1 million? And everyone's silent, you know? They're like, they're like, I'm thinking about it, you know? Yeah. But yeah, that was another thing with this. An NDA was required. So whoever this was very important.
Really? So you know their identity, but you can't say.
They wouldn't reveal their
Oh,
identity.
okay. But you had to sign
But
an NDA. Just
I had to sign an NDA before agreeing to meet with them because this person was somebody in the public eye.
okay.
And so I'm sitting here thinking to myself, who the hell is this? You know, I'm like, is this Donald Trump?
I mean, we all know he's into some freaky fucking shit. So could be.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh
Oh
God.
my gosh, so
So what did you respond? Did you respond back at all, or you just let it sit? Okay. Yeah, it's
I
probably
don't
for the better.
how do you respond to
I
that?
don't know, but I'm so glad that I asked because that is gonna be in the Sex Party Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Am I the only one who got something like that? I'm like,
I
how the hell did I get that email?
I've heard some shit, and then no pun intended, on this
No pun
show
intended.
when I asked that question. But that what would you like me to eat, and also the laxative, so it's just blowing out, is just absolutely mind-bogglingly good. Like
Yeah.
I mean that's human centipede, that's
Yeah.
wild. That's
It's very wild. It was like I got to choose his menu, and he got
yeah.
to take laxative.
That's fucking shot. That's just
Yeah.
fucking shot. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
That's the way to end the show.
Well, I still got. Well,
No. I'm like, oh
we
God.
could end it here, but
No, but
I'm gonna push ahead with two final questions. It's gonna be a mad pivot on both of these, but we're gonna
Okay.
try it anyway. So cum shot from a guy, right?
Okay.
Where do you prefer it? Are you a cream pie girly? Are you a facial girly? Do you like both? What is your preferred place for a guy to come?
Cream pie for breeding. The whole breeding thing is pretty awesome. It also has like a thing with the hot wife, because I know my husband loves, because it's like that whole um what is it, like that wild thing of like I got to be in control again. Like he
Yeah.
has that, like that thing of like but I like
Yeah. So for everybody on the audio side, she pointed to her tongue. Yeah. Do you do facials in porn, obviously, or is that on like you'd rather not, or?
I do facials.
Yeah.
I mainly like it's funny, I always ask people, I'm like, are you talented enough? And so I'd be amazed, because
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah.
but that's fine too. I mean,
Yeah.
facials, it's the best kind of facial in the world.
Yeah, I mean, and there's something. This is another thing we explore constantly. There's just something to facials. It's kind of like a dommy, demeaning kind of thing, but it's also kind of like a slutty, fun thing. But it's also like an aesthetic thing too. And so I think that's a whole other realm of
Mhm.
like pleasure and like whatever. So I would love to ask that question. Final question, promise. Even though I don't want to end this final question. Let's say there's a couple out there and they want to try the hot wife thing, but they're scared of fucking up the relationship. What advice do you have?
Oh, my advice is to don't forget communication is key. Like, that's the number one thing. I swear I heard tapping.
I did too. Yeah, it was a ghost.
Yeah, I don't know what that came from, but anyways, I don't see anybody. But yeah, communication is key. I mean, you can't have a relationship that's the hot wife without communication. And just being honest with what you want, what you don't want. Let's say you're not into something, you should be honest about how you feel, how you want your adventure to be. And just because, like, not everybody fits into a box, and so your hot wife experience might be different than somebody else's. It doesn't mean it's any less, you know, of an experience than somebody else's. You know, like with us, we're not, but it doesn't mean we're any less, or you know, we're still in the same lifestyle. You know, it's just like I said, the main thing is communication. Trusting. That also comes with communication. It's just the key to it, you know.
Sedona Reign, thank you so much for being with me on Sex Party for a fucking bonkers, awesome episode. Let's tell these horny, curious, wonderful party goers in the audience not only where they can find you on social media, so like Instagram and Twitter and wherever else you may be, but more importantly, where they can find you online and just dump out like baskets, barrels, buckets of cash all over you.
So I am on Instagram at the Sedona Reign, and because we all know Instagram likes to cancel people like us. On on X, I am Sedona Reign. On I have a many vids, Sedona Reign, and an OnlyFans. I also signed up with something called XChat, which I'm still trying to explore on its own. I also have a website, which is sedonareign.com. And through there, you can get a hold of me. You know, I have email, a lot of information on movies and things that I've done is all on there. So, and then I also have a Cash App, which is Sedona Reign. I
Well,
love tips.
yeah. I'm sure they're on it. They're headed over there already. I'd love to have you back on the show. This is a fucking awesome. I had a great time with you, and so we'll have to set that up when we stop recording here in a second. We'll have to chat about it. But thank you so much for being on the show with me this week.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm like, you have such an awesome podcast, and congratulations on the nomination, all of that.
Thank you so much. That means a
awesome.
lot. Yeah.
Well deserved.
Thank you so much. That means a ton. Thank you. We will talk very soon. Huge thank you to my guest this week, Sedona Reign, for being with me on the show. Make sure you go check out everything she is doing, not only on social media, but take some fucking money. Go spend it over on OnlyFans with her. You will enjoy yourself. Obviously, clearly, if you're loving guests like Sedona, you want to see her again, she will be back. If you want to just, I don't know, maybe you're enjoying all of the guests. Maybe you're still on board with all my wacky bullshit as a host. And maybe you want to show that love for the show, that desire for more of the show. And also you want to make sure you never miss an episode. How can you accomplish all these goals in one fell swoop? Well, if you're listening to this on platforms like Apple and Spotify, you could leave a rating. You could leave a review. I would appreciate that. I would love you for that. It would make my heart beat still, or maybe fast. I don't know, whatever. I would love it, but fuck it. Forget it. Don't do those things. Here's what you're going to do instead. You're going to go and subscribe to the show. And then that way you never miss a brand new episode every single Wednesday, especially if you're subscribed or you think you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts. They've been unsubscribing people from certain shows for whatever reason. So go to Apple Podcasts, go to Sex Party with Dustin Rybka. In the upper right-hand corner, if you see a pause button, your subscription has been paused. So click the pause button, toggle on down to resume subscription, resume download. Boom, you're resubscribed. If you're watching on YouTube, I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, I just want to know your thoughts on that crazy OnlyFans request at the end of the episode. Just please leave your thoughts, any thoughts, all of the thoughts in the YouTube comments. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to make sure you never miss a new episode of the show every single Wednesday, but you also want to show some sort of emotion, love, hate, desire, rage, confusion, bewilderment about the show, how can you do these things? Well, you could like this video, you could dislike this video, you could do that to all the videos. You can leave comments on this video, on all the videos, whether they're positive or negative. We will have a conversation. We will go back and forth. Trust me, I will get to your comment. Sometimes it takes a few days, weeks, months, but I will get to it. I promise. Go ahead and leave comments on everything. Sure. But the most important thing you want to do is you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss a brand new episode every single Wednesday. As always, I'm available in the DMs on Instagram, and I will see you all right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin at Dustin Rybka.